be the matchup you're looking forward to. Raging Bolt trying to take down the Regidrago V-Star. Double Raging Bolt.
Against Raging Bolt 201, that ID being against Vincent.
That might change.
Yeah, something's going to have to break here.
That's a Kyurem start.
Not the Kyurem. Christian, no.
Oh, we almost hinted at this in the previous round 13. We're talking about what's the worst starter. We saw Radiant Charizard. It's like, no, actually, it's Kyurem.
Yeah.
It is Kyurem. It's not great to see.
It's very bad to see.
You're not going first either.
I mean, I guess the only plus is if it gets knocked out, it's in the discard pile.
Yeah, thanks.
That's about it. Yes, this is definitely not what you want to see, but hopefully we can work around that a bit. Of course, we're starting over on Vincent's side of the field here to kick things off. The Teal Mask Ogre Pawn in the active position, starting off nice and easy with the Earthen Vessel here, discarding a Night Stretcher to get out some energy from the deck, and is going to take a nice look here to see what's in the prize cards for Vincent. Going to see a couple of Raging Bolt are down.
Yeah, which is something that you can manage to work with. You're trying to set up a nice, consistent setup. If you can have some targets for that Professor Sada, that's really the trickiest part here. You still have Pokemon like that Slitherwing that you could end up attaching that energy to if you want to get extra energies accelerated. You can't do it by way of the double Raging Bolt here.
Yup. You know, it's also awkward, Kyle. Christian started the Kyurem, but the switch is in the prize cards.
So you're saying that's probably not going to move.
I'm saying it's going in the discard pile eventually, right?
That is the one way it will probably move. We've
Yes.
got Prime Catcher too, but yeah, I think Christian's got a lot more to worry about.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, we got through that initial deck search here for Vincent, and we're going to start churning through this turn here. Starting with this Nest Ball. It's fantastic. Get out a basic Pokemon here for Vincent.
At this point, you've got a couple decisions that could be made. You can go for that Squawkabilly EX if you want to go aggressive, which we know this deck tends to do. Lose your hand to grab at 6 fresh cards and then try to find that Raging Bolt. Or if you have the supporter to go along with it, we could see that slower approach where you just find the Raging Bolt. You know where that is now, and you'll set up for a turn 2 knockout pretty easily.
So I'm curious what you're thinking, Kyle, because Christian is undefeated so far against Raging Bolt, and Vincent is undefeated against Regidrago. On paper, what does this matchup look like as far as who's got the edge here? Not specifically this game, because Christian's already got a bit of an awkward start, but what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's when you see these two decks clash, typically you want to favor the Raging Bolt. The percentages will always lean that way, but Christian's such a talented player, you expect to see him be able to find an answer to this. And I've also heard he's got the stadium to help out here too. Maybe he could stop some of those bravery charms.
Ooh, yeah.
Like the jamming tower.
Jamming towers shut off some tools. Bravery charm is pretty pivotal in that deck, in the Raging Bolt deck.
I'm not seeing it in the list though.
Also, you know what I'm seeing? We had a Radiant Charizard with a Grass Energy be put down. We had a Professor's Research to discard a lot. Now we're kind of drawing some cards here with the Teal Mask Ogre Pawn Teal dancing around. But that's kind of it for the hand. We have Earthen Vessel, but it's just kind of weird seeing a Radiant Charizard with a grass.
It's not. I mean, clearly this is not the setup you're looking for. You have a Kyurem in the active, an energy on your Radzard, and you're just trying to get to the next turn. This is one way to do just that.
Oh no!
for Vincent, you've got some opportunities now. If you can find some help, like a Prime Catcher here, huge opportunity. Knocking out either that lone Regidrago V, taking the energy off the Teal Mask, whatever it may be at this time, depending on how many energies you can get in play. This could be a disastrous turn where you take 2 prize cards that are very important.
Yeah, speaking about Prime Catcher too, Christian, actually, that was one of the discards to the Professor's Research on that turn for Christian Labella. So that's one very important resource down. It's just looking so awkward as far as the start goes. Whereas Vincent's playing this deck that can really run away with these turns. Radiant Greninja coming down for some extra support here. Gonna be able to discard those energy, draw into some additional cards for the hands, and keep on chugging.
Pretty great start here for Vincent. So many draws left to be had. The Radiant Greninja, the Teal Mask Ogre Pawn, if you have an additional Grass Energy. We see the Fight Energy now to see 2 more resources. Sada's added to the hand. And there are a few more ways to move Pokemon if it's not just the Prime Catcher. Pokemon Catcher is also featured in this list, and we could see some of those as well.
Yeah, look at that. Pokemon catcher going to be rolled. If it was a heads, you could switch your Pokemon, your opponent's Pokemon, but it is going to be a tails this time around. But yeah, having those energy in the discard pile already to be able to use the Professor Sada there, it's pretty darn good. Drawn to some extra cards as well. You'd like to have 2 targets there. Energy retrieval is going to get us back this grass to reuse it now on the teal mask once again for this turn.
Yeah, wise from Vincent to retreat and then find that energy off of the energy retrieval. Gave him that additional draw to maybe inch a little further. Unfortunately, finds the Raging Bolt after the Sada, so it doesn't have that second energy attached there, but I think you can manage. You're just trying to knock out a Kyurem at this point, as we did not see a way to move the active.
Yeah, and Bellowing Thunder is one way to do that. That is for sure. I mean, this move is one of the reasons why Raging Bolt EX is so powerful. You throw all these energy on the board from the Professor Sada's Vitality, accelerating energy, your Teal Mask Ogre Pawn, accelerating grass energy, and you're doing 70 damage for each one of these discarded energies. So that is just, it's a fast-paced deck. It's so dominant in this format. It hasn't even caught a loss yet here in Toronto. And we're seeing why. Vincent's just keeping up the pace here and getting that Kyurem out of the way on the field. So now it's in the discard pile for Christian Labella, and he's going to have to choose what happens next here, and I'm scared now.
I mean, the door opened. You saw the Kyurem knocked out. You can finally promote a relevant Pokemon and start attacking. But what do you do?
Yeah.
Your opponent has 290 hit points in the active spot. This is actually a list featuring no stadium cards, so there is no way to interact with that Bravery Charm.
Oh, what list were we thinking about?
There was some misinformation back there. It's okay, it happens.
Gotcha.
But we have a very difficult task at hand to remove this Pokemon or to start targeting some of the bench. It's a really tough call here for Christian, and honestly, he just needs to get a setup going at this point.
That's what we're looking for here in the Pokemon TCG. Some sort of setup so you can carry out these turns. Yeah, I mean, Drago, we've seen this all weekend. We're going to continue to see it in this tournament. It has the potential to have very strong starts here, but as we see, Christian Labella is still just trying to work through these turns. Earthen Vessel, discarding this Earthen Vessel to get out some more energy onto the field. We're going to be able to utilize the Teal Dance once again, draw into some additional cards. We already have 2 grass energy out for the energy switches. If Christian Labella can get those, but like you said, Kyle, we at least have the Kyurem out of the way here, and we can start to do some things. Let's see what this draw is. Mew EX.
Not the greatest.
Got a Nest
See
Ball.
a few energies, another way to search out some Pokemon. It's just not adding up into that big swing turn, but this is maybe where you flip the script. That Pheasantipity can be so beneficial. Finding those 3 additional resources, maybe that leads to the Regidrago V-Star and starting to move some of these energies by way of energy switch.
We're going to need some pivotal draws here. This is going to be a huge flip the script. Christian just taking a quick look at the discard first, putting down this Mew EX as well, and the attachment for turn to thin down the hand just a little bit here. We have one of those energy switches onto the Regidrago V already, and then we're going to utilize that Super Odd. That puts 1 lasting card in our hand for Christian Labella here. Super Odding that Kyurem. Is that the only target? I think that was it.
I guess Kyurem's going back in. There's not much else to work with there. It's not exactly a attack that you're going to copy, but you're trying to burn this card out of your hand so you can draw 2 more resources with Mew.
I think that was literally the only target, I'm pretty sure, in the discard. I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. All right, well, we see the flip the script. What was it?
Ooh,
Kyle, what are we working with?
It flipped the script, all right. That's a Regidrago V-Star. Professor's Research, Ultra Ball in hand, discarding some Dragon Pokemon in that Giratina V-Star.
Now we got some other options for attackers here. Ultra Ball is going to get us that second Regidrago V as well. We're drawing cards here. We've restarted. We flipped the script. Christian Labella is once again working with this hand.
You just start to wonder what the perfect turn looks like at this point. Yes, you found the research. You found a way to continue drawing. You need an energy switch, but what attack do you want to use in this situation? Could you find Hisui and Gudra, some Pokemon to try to stick around an additional turn?
Yeah, 290 HP is so huge here with that Bravery Charm
Giddy
buffing
up.
up that Raging Bolt EX. We're going to see the Legacy Star here from Christian Labella. 7 cards discarded. 2 are going to be retrieved back to the hand here. Of course, you see that energy switch being
it's
such a pivotal one.
the lost
vacuum.
vacuum.
Oh, to take the Bravery Charm away.
Yeah, just that's a great way to move this. We so often don't see that interaction unless it's the Jamie Tower. It's a one-of tech inclusion there with the Lost Vacuum to move that Bravery Charm out of here and take out this Pokemon. And then it's going to be Vincent on the back foot trying to find a response. Yes, this was a ton of resources by Christian, but you have checked the first box.
You can't fall too far behind. And Christian, that's exactly what he's doing here. He's holding on in this Legacy Star to get those pivotal resources here. The energy switch to secure that last energy on the Regidrago V-Star. And then that Lost Vacuum. It's going to need some discards to get the Bravery Charm out of the way. But we still have more cards to go here within another Ultra Ball, now discarding that Dragapult EX to get this Goodra.
Yeah, we've seen some players choose to go for the Dragapult attack. You use Phantom Dive, you spread some damage, maybe you get that active and you get some damage onto the back here, and then you can go for a boss and go for that big 4-prize knockout here. It seems a little better than using a Giratina in this spot. You don't want to lose those energies off the board, but do you set that up by way of Goodra first to stick around, Rolling Iron?
Oh, yeah, that's that Hisuian Goodra doing some work here. That's back over to Vincent Owen now. This Raging Bolt in the active, heavily damaged here, only 90 HP left. Still has that Bravery Charm on it from Vincent, and Christian Labella playing a little defensively here into Vincent. We got the Nest Ball coming down here to get another Pokemon out of the deck.
And what, 360 is not a pleasant number for Vincent to see. He has to overextend with 6 energies in play. That's Sadas for 2, double Teal Mask for 2 more energies. You can attach 1 from your hand and lose every energy off the board if you want to knock out this active without having any switching effects to try to negate the Rolling Iron.
Yeah, that Rolling Iron, so effective here. Maybe this is the strategy. I'm wondering if Christian Labella took this against the other Raging Bolts that he's faced off against already so far in Toronto.
Yeah, it's not the cleanest when you look at the Dragapult math and trying to set up for the multiple knockouts, but for longevity's sake, this is so crucial. Forcing your opponent to have all the right resources here, throwing down all these energies to try to knock out this Pokemon. It's so much, but Vincent's actually there.
Yeah, you never can really underestimate the Raging Bolt here. We see these energies already being put onto the field from the Teal dances here, and now we're seeing the manual attachment there onto the Raging Bolt as well. Lots of energy down right now. Did make it awkward with the Hisuian Goodra V-Star, the reduction of the 80 damage if it's hitting into that V-Star. But look at that, all of these energy to say, oh, I'm going to take the knockout anyway here. Tons of energy discarded. It's 70 damage for each of those energy.
420.
Yes, and that's going to take down that Regidrago V-Star, despite the Hisuian Goodra V-Star helping out just a little bit with that reduction. Christian Labella is now down that Regidrago. Vincent Owen is leading even further now into this matchup, 3 prize cards down.
And Christian, I mean, he was hoping to stick around that turn. He wasn't able to place some additional damage counters that would maybe lead to a big turn here. And so many resources have already been used, but the most important one at this point will be Iono, limiting your opponent's hand size, trying to stick them on a hand that just does not have any energies, so you can't draw with your Radiant Greninja, your Teal Mask Ogerpon. There's a world where Vincent does not find the resources. It's just so slim because the deck is built to find the simplest of resource to win a game.
We have seen that world. That has been a reality in many of these matchups before for the Raging Bolt. But here, when you're Christian Labella, you know, when you can't play offensively due to your lack of resources, you got to start playing defensively. And we've seen so much here. We see the flip the script now from Christian to draw into 3 additional cards.
9-card hand on the other side for Vincent.
Yeah, that's a lot. Just laying it out there,
Do
too.
you think Vincent could get a good attack off next turn now?
I think so.
This is when Raging Bolt is so scary.
Yeah, you throw the energies back onto the field with a Sada. You get energy retrieval to get your grass energy again, to put them on your Teal Mask Ogerpon again, draw into even more cards. Christian Labella is just going to promote this Radiant Charizard and pass over the turn now over to Vincent.
And not much else to say with a turn like that. It's slow. You're hoping to give your opponent that extra prize card so that Iono will maybe hit just a little bit more differently. You hope they overextend and knock out this Radiant Charizard. But for Vincent, he's got so many resources to look through. He's going to see additional energies here. You have to expect Pokemon Catcher, Prime Catcher, something to help out here and really lock this game up.
Slow, but is it steady, Kyle? Is it steady enough to maintain here? But Vincent starting off already with this Earthen Vessel, searching out these 2 grass energy. That'll do it. Oh my gosh, and then another one.
I don't need Iono. I think I'm going to be all right here.
That's so wild. Earthen Vessel number 2 here for the turn to get a lightning energy as well as a fighting energy for Vincent.
So many.
And that's from the deck. So now we have 4 energy in the hand from those 2 Earthen Vessel already for Vincent.
3 of those energies instantly turn into 4 cards that will be drawn. Sada's is found, so that's 3 more cards. Pokemon Catcher is found. If this is a heads, this is a disaster for Christian. He's holding on.
2 for 2 there with the tails, unfortunately for Vincent. Get into that Sada now, has to target down 2 of these ancient Pokemon, get these energy on here, then you draw 3 additional cards. I mean, you see why Raging Bolt is so effective into this meta. You're just drawing infinite numbers of cards.
Pink card is found. Prime Catcher to help out here. You see the energy attachment to the bench Raging Bolt.
I can attack with this one now.
It's only a matter of time until you see there's the Regidrago gone. And without the access to the Regidrago V-Star on the following turn, yes, you could see Radiant Charizard take a knockout, but it's inevitable that this Pokemon will be knocked out right afterwards.
Yeah, that is such a bummer to see. Putting up that clean Raging Bolt EX off the Prime Catcher, which brought this Regidrago V into the active. It's going to be knocked out and leave Christian even further behind in this matchup. I mean, this has been such a dominant performance here from Vincent so far with Raging Bolt.
There's another Bravery Charm in hand, too.
Oh, my
Vincent
gosh.
could have even given himself a little more hit points, but knows that the Lost Vacuum is in the hand, so wants to preserve that for maybe one final stand if Christian is able to make a comeback here.
Well, we're seeing the discard now of these energy, knocking out that Regidrago V, going nice and slow here. Christian promoting the floater of the Mew EX, having that free retreat. Easy enough here to work around, but here we go. Vincent just down to 1 last prize card to take, and Christian has yet to even take 1 in this game, Kyle.
Yeah, if you haven't taken a prize card and you've used Legacy Star, it's not your day. This is not working out here so far, and still have yet to lay eyes on the Iono at this point. The hand is enormous for Vincent. You have to disrupt this hand, start to put some pressure on. If you can attack into that Raging Bolt, maybe there's a world where you can knock out 2 Raging Bolt back-to-back on a absolutely stuck hand with the Iono. You see it at the bottom of the deck there. Christian's shaking his head.
Yeah, everything has gone wrong, I think, so far here for Christian. So sad.
Can I Pheasantipity drawl into this?
Oh, the Lost Vacuum now being utilized here to take out that Bravery Charm.
Maybe Mew to help out restart for what looks like
hand's been
2
thinned
more
down.
cards.
2 additional cards, 1 in the hand, up to 3 here. We got the grass energy for
All
the
right.
Teal Dance.
Boo, there's another thing to worry about here. If he uses Iono, does he deck himself?
Oh, no.
How many cards are left?
Way. What?
It's right at 6.
Oh, my gosh. Wow, that was really close. There.
I don't think we're gonna see any dancing with the with the Ogerpons.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we've danced a little too much here. That one dance already has been enough here for Christian.
Well, this is pretty great math with Dragon Laser. You can attack twice into the Raging Bolt and the benched Raging Bolt here and try to go for the double knockout at some point. It looks like he wants to take this prize card, but this lines up for a Raging Bolt with 1 energy already moving to the active spot.
Exactly. It's heavily damaged, but Vincent just needs 1 more prize card to take. Just a couple more energy here.
This hand is not it. I think we just saw 2 Pokemon here. Is this Burst Roar?
What? Wait, Squawkabilly?
It's Burst Roar.
That's it. That's Burst Roar.
That's a turn.
You discard your hand and then you draw 6 cards. That's all that Vincent could do there after that Iono play from Christian. And look at this. It's going to be another Iono being played now that we're on Christian Labella's turn here to shuffle up once again. Now it's going to be 4 cards for Christian, 1 for Vincent.
Iono leaving 2 cards in the deck. Radiant Charizard moving to the active, taking the knockout again. But how do you move this Radiant Charizard once more at this point? We've seen so many valuable resources used here.
Yeah.
The switch is gone. I think the Prime Catcher's already gone. This Pokemon,
the Prime Catcher's been gone.
You've got 2 turns to move it. So I guess you just pass, but that's another opportunity for Vincent to draw back in. What can he find?
Yeah, this entire game is on the line here. What is it? A Pokestop here?
And a Palpad.
And a Palpad.
Those aren't synergistic.
Yeah, those are. Oh my gosh. Well, Pokestop's going to come down into play. That was a 1 card hand, and then the one off the top here, Pokestop.
Oh, finds. Okay, those are synergistic.
What was it,
Has
Kyle?
the Palpad and the Pokegear.
Oh, Pokegear, yes. We could get a supporter card out of here now. And shuffling the Sadas, the 2 Sada, back into the deck here with the Palpad. Those are synergistic. You are so right about that, Kyle.
I think that worked out pretty well.
Yeah,
if he misses here, then it's your fault.
Oh, no. Vincent, don't blame me, all right? It's all right. We're going to hit the Sada. It's totally fine. Let's do it. Pokegear, 7 cards here. You get a supporter out.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. I feel like it was like almost impossible to miss.
Don't say that.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to say that anymore. Well, we have the Sada in the hand here now. All of those energy that are in the discard pile can actually...
There's so many ways to get out of this one. You find an energy retrieval, earthen vessel if the energies are still around. The energies themselves, yes, you can only accelerate 1 energy to this Raging Bolt, but 3 to find a way to take a knockout.
Oh my gosh, Iron Bundle switch card lost vacuum. That's it here for Vincent. The disruption, it's worked, Kyle.
And then Vincent finds all these ways to move the active Pokemon, and that's the worst thing to do right now.
Exactly.
You can't move the Radiant Charizard, leave it in the active. Do you ever Burst Roar again, hoping your opponent doesn't have the resources to energy switch and move out of this? You've got the count on it. We don't.
Wow, this has just been such a difficult time here for Vincent in the late game. I mean, we've been sitting at 1 prize card here, just not able to close things out. It's just going to be a switch card into the Iron Bundle, leaving it in the active position here for Christian to have another turn in this game. Regidrago V-Star coming down for Christian as well. We've worked with several Ionos here, and the hand is looking thick. Christian's been on the back foot this whole time. Iono once again to disrupt Vincent into another 1 card draw here.
3 Iono in a row to hang around just 1 additional turn. If this one sticks, surely we should see Christian be able to find that boss's orders and close out the game next turn.
Exactly.
It's Pokegear.
Oh, it's Pokegear again.
And as you said, it's not.
No way. I did not do that. I'm so sorry, Vincent. Oh, no. I just thought the deck was so thin. It is so thin. That's the thing.
And did not thin out before using the Pokestop. There was a chance you could find item cards and burn those before you use those.
Well,
now it's all on finding a nest ball.
Oh, my gosh. 2 more energy into the discard pile, into this nest ball here off of the Pokestop. It's going to get us 1 more thing thinned out of the deck here. But
I almost had a heart attack thinking about Slitherwing Stomp Off combos, but that's not there. Boss's orders is in hand, and Christian takes a big sweep to close out game 1.
It seemed almost unbelievable here, Kyle, that Christian Labella has taken this game. He was at a prize card turn just a couple turns ago, and he was able to snake out this game here against Vincent. I cannot believe my eyes in this matchup right now. The power of disruption against Raging Bolt is proving so strong here. And I guess this is Christian, even on the back foot this entire tournament, showing, nope, I'm not taking a loss yet to Raging Bolt here.
That replay is going to be something else.
Wild.
Take a look at how we got here in this opening game. Yes, the player that won started with a Kyurem, lost all their resources, and got it knocked out immediately. And this was the setup. After using Legacy Star, trying to set up some semblance of a board, loses even more resources, didn't take a single prize card until this point of the game where we see this huge knockout to deal 420 damage, follow it up with another big knockout here, and go down even more prizes, just one remaining, and this is where things turned around.
So wild. Christian Labella moving that Radiant Charizard up. It was just stuck there for a while for Christian, but look at this. After the disruption from these back-to-back Ionos, Vincent was just not able to get there in this match here, even through a Professor Sada, and that leads to Christian flashing that boss's orders and taking the game here in the end. Christian Labella, this is why I'm your biggest fan.
Nothing left to do but give a little smirk to the crowd of, did I just get away with something?
I know.
That was
Can
insane.
you imagine? I mean, think about it. The Kyurem start, we had back-to-back Regidrago V-Star, Regidrago V being eliminated from the field. Vincent was doing everything right there as far as removing the threats off the field, but somehow, even with so many resources used, think about it. The Prime Catcher was discarded on the first turn.
Yep,
I mean, we had nothing.
In the prize cards.
The Legacy Star was used. We had nothing there, and Christian was able to win that. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Radiant Charizard. Definitely worth its weight in gold at this point. A huge win here in game number 1. Excited to see what the rest of this set has in store for us, as Vincent has been undefeated throughout this entire event, loves this matchup, and he is down 1-0.
Now, wait a second.
Find a way to close.
That's not how that's supposed to go.
Yep.
I almost feel bad now about the Professor Sada's comment. I'm not making any more comments this time, Kyle. This time around, Trekking Shoes is going to start us off here on Vincent's side. And luckily, no Kyurem start. Now, are the prize cards okay?
The Kyurem was in his hand, by the way, so he almost started with it again.
I thought it was funny that Kyurem was literally shuffled back in as the only target to thin down.
I'm not mad at you.
Well, let's check out the prize cards here for Vincent. We had 2 Raging Bolt in them last game here. This time around, it's just a singular Raging Bolt, as well as a Professor Sada's and 2 of those Energy. So all cards you're able to work around and good to draw into later on for Vincent. So.
Exactly. And when you have those resources at the bottom 3, the Energy, Sada, you're just trying to find just a little bit more gas to take knockouts. And at 1 Energy, 1 supporter can be all the difference at those turns.
Gas is the name of the game here for this turn, as we see. Oh my gosh, Vincent's just popping off here.
That is a reckless endangerment. Doesn't require any of those resources, but understandably so. This is what Raging Bolt does. You have Squawkabilly, you have Teal Mask Ogerpon. We've seen no energies just yet, and you can only imagine what's on the other end of the Squawk and Seas. Probably going to see 3 energies by the end of this turn.
Yeah, that's what you want to see as a Raging Bolt player. At this point, Vincent's taken a loss in this set so far. Needs to really focus up and get everything on pace for this game 2. This is the Squawk and Seas. Getting these 6 cards to the hand here. See this Grass Energy able to accelerate onto this Teal Mask Ogerpon. 2 Earthen Vessel in the hand, discarding an Ultra Ball for the first.
Yeah, so often you see players use that Earthen Vessel trying to thin out those energies, but this is a deck that wants to see energy, so draws with the Teal Mask
and discard that
first.
Energies.
Now gets to throw some away with the Earthen Vessel. We'll have all of those energies accelerated. Energy for the turn to the Raging Bolt. 2 energy down, 1 for each Teal Mask Ogerpon. You are threatening a knockout on that Drago V before Christian has even looked at the top card of his deck.
Yeah, this is not what you want to see on Christian's side, that is for sure. But, I mean, Christian was in that same circumstance in game 1 and still was able to take things down. But Vincent is playing this perfectly here. We have 3 energy out. The Bravery Charm protecting that Raging Bolt EX. Such a terrifying turn lined up next time for Vincent. Christian Labella, on the other hand, is going to get a discard of one of these Dragon Pokemon within the Kyurem with that Earthen Vessel to get out some energy of his own.
This might be one of the better hands we've seen for Christian. I mean, clearly better than the other one that we saw, but he's been on stream before already. This Earthen Vessel, we also saw a few ways to search out Pokemon. This could certainly end up being a Cleffa in the active with a switch used, drawing an abundance of resources. You saw your opponent discard Prime Catcher on the opening turn too. So you have a chance to just promote a single prize Pokemon and start to establish a board here.
Well, seeing the prize cards there, that means Christian's only going to have access to 5 Grass Energy and 1 Fire Energy. The one that was just searched out here from that Earthen Vessel for Christian.
Make some good use of it. We've seen players switching over to 7-3, 8-2. This is a 7-2 count, so very thin, but it allows you some additional resources that we see. Maybe that consistency that's been added with players adding cards like that Terra Orb.
I love this card.
It's so fun.
It's so fun.
So simple.
It's like Featherball, kind of, you know?
You're a Featherball enthusiast?
I mean, I just like ball cards, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. Terra Orb. I mean, is the orb even, is that a ball card? It's like, what is it?
We'll give it to you.
Is it a Pokeball? Terra Orb to get out your Terra Pokemon. We see Teal Mask Ogrepons on both sides of the field because this is just such a wild card in the Pokemon TCG right now. One of the best support cards to be able to accelerate your energy. And when you get all these energy out and then play off of them either to energy switch to your Pokemon, power them up, or on Vincent's side, discard a bunch of energy to hit super hard, it's a great partner Pokemon in these decks.
Looking for the little guy, and there it is.
Cleffa.
It's so important that you are able to promote this Pokemon into the active spot. Not only is it great that you get to add those extra cards into your hand, but having a single prize Pokemon in play is so valuable here. Just giving up that little prize and then going into the 2 prize exchange where your opponent doesn't really have a choice. Vincent's going 2 prizer every turn.
Yes, exactly. You know what's on the other side of that, and Cleffa is here to help out just a little bit.
Oh.
Such low HP, 30.
Okay. Well,
Did we restart?
Now this is weird.
Wait, what did we
Radiant
restart?
Charizard received the only fire energy, and there's one in the prize cards.
Whoa, that's a bit awkward here, Kyle. I mean, Christian would definitely have known that off the deck search, I would assume, right?
I think so.
So, well, Radiant Charizard now has that energy. I mean, we have energy switches. Just switch it around.
I guess, yeah. That's one place to put it, and your opponent's
Maybe you're
not
just
gonna,
like protecting it. Yeah.
They're not going to target the Radiant Charizard. They don't want that single prize. Maybe it is the best place to put the energy at this
Might
point.
actually be. Yeah, just to kind of
Just
throw off
scares
your
you for a second.
Yeah.
Throw
Throw off your opponent here, switch it around later, pull out some attacks later on for Christian. But now we're over onto Vincent's side of the field here. Ooh, Iron Bundle.
So this is part of this that's a little more tricky. With the Iron Bundle as opposed to the Pokemon Catcher, you can't target down specifically where the energy is, but Christian values that fire energy more than giving up 2 prize cards in this spot. And is going to lose the Mew at this point. And
Sheesh.
That's a lot to think about.
Yeah, that's a bit scary here, having to put up a Pokemon, choosing the Mew EX. I mean, it helped in our last game that we saw with the restart ability when Christian had some slim hands or was able to make some slim hands, draw into some extra cards. We were talking about the prize exchange here. The single prize was so helpful. Mew EX is a double prize. Vincent is wanting to see that, to have a nice, clean prize map. Speaking of nice and clean, everything has been going swell for Vincent so far with these resources.
He has not had to think about too much here, just throwing energies around all over the board. Doesn't even have to discard that many energies to take a knockout on that Mew. Just 3 will get the job done. You feel probably pretty safe with that Raging Bolt in the active with the Bravery Charm. Your opponent has to have that Lost Vacuum, a one-of copy, in order to surprise you with a knockout, and you also have energies on the benched Raging Bolt too.
Pal Pad to shuffle in some of those Professor Sada as well back into the deck here for Vincent. We've already Teal danced. We have a ton of energy out on the field. The Bravery Charm buffing up that Raging Bolt EX to 290 HP as well. Everything is going to plan here for Vincent. We just have to keep the consistency of these turns. That was a scary part in the last game. Once that disruption started to come out from the woodwork, got pretty scary here. But so far, everything nice and smooth. Raging Bolt EX going to take a knockout with Bellowing Thunder on this Mew EX. Take the first 2 prize cards of the game, and Christian Labella is going to bring this Teal Mask Ogre Pun up and back into the Cleffa with the Prime Catcher.
Yeah, the only reason to promote the non-free retreater is if you have the Prime Catcher ready to go as your first action. We see the Cleffa now in the active spot with free retreat, and all these great decisions for Christian to be had. He's got a way to shuffle back some resources here with the Super Rod. A pretty easy knockout to reach on this Raging Bolt, and you have the benefit of removing an energy from the board.
Yeah, this is the 240 HP Raging Bolt. No charm protecting it this time around. Christian Labella able to do something here, including this Professor's Research, discarding that Dragapult EX as well, and going into a fresh 7 cards for Christian.
Anytime you see those dragon Pokemon hit the discard pile, your ears start to perk up a little bit. Christian with even more opportunities. Does not have access to the Hisuian Gudra yet, but that's probably not the attacker of choice in this situation. It seems like the aggression could be beneficial. It's so close to call, though. Your opponent has so many energies to return a knockout.
There's 2 energy switch in the hand for Christian.
And that means Radiant Charizard is an opportunity, too. There's 2 prize cards taken by Vincent. You could surprise with the Combustion Blast and have a single prize Pokemon ready.
Get that. Flip the script. Access for Christian Labella to use that as well this turn. 3 additional cards into the hand. And that's after a research that got us a fresh 7. What are we working with? The 2 energy switch that are there. Boss's Orders. A couple of Pokemon in there.
No energy, though?
Or wait, yeah.
It's not ideal. Having to.
I mean, they're in the prize cards.
That's true.
They're stuck.
Can't be surprised there, I suppose.
Yeah, that is quite unfortunate. We've already talked about this is the only fire energy in play, or really in the deck at the moment. One stuck in the prize cards.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, this is the Legacy Star here. Christian Labella going full throttle into this Legacy Star, discarding 7 cards here. 2 of them are going to come back into the hand after this V-Star Power ability.
Double energy switch was removed. There's so many cards that you're thinking about in this spot. Super Rod for access to the Radiant Charizard once more. Energy switch so that you can accelerate and surprise. Prime Catcher to knock out Pokemon that don't have Bravery Charm. Or the Lost Vacuum to remove that resource. And you only get 2.
Yeah, there's so many good options here. But, I mean, this V-Star Power is already so powerful. We can't do more than that, okay? We got to limit it just a bit here. Yeah, this'll do. Earthen Vessel here to get us some energy right away now, and then a nice pink card. All right, here's the grass for Christian Labella. Just having to use that V-Star Power, not having the energy. Sad.
Just and so often the Legacy Star has not been incorporated with a knockout. This turn, there's some potential now. You have the Radiant Charizard who can take the knockout. You could use all of your resources on the Regidrago V-Star, but that seems like a little inefficient. And here is the single prize Pokemon to start to mix it up a little bit here with the prize exchange.
Yeah, the Combustion Blast here from that Radiant Charizard. That's going to be our attacker. It's a single prize attacker here. Christian Labella is going to be able to draw into some of those prize cards as well. Sadly, it's not that other fire energy. It's just a couple of other cards in the grass energy.
Yeah,
that's going to lead.
Super Rod was found, which is a huge benefit as you can recycle this Radiant Charizard in the fire again, but as you're asking a lot from your deck again.
Yeah, then you got to get the resources, get it back out once again, and that can prove sort of awkward. But hey, this Radiant Charizard, once again, taking some prize cards down here for Christian. We're over back to Vincent's side now after taking a knockout on that Raging Bolt EX. This is the beefier Raging Bolt now. 290 HP in the active position. Already has that lightning energy attached. We've Teal Danced once so far in this turn. We're still going.
Yeah, this Pokemon can certainly withstand another attack from Charizard, or if the energy switches were there for Regidrago V-Star, but we've seen all of those resources used. It is going to be single energy attacks or Teal Mask Ogrepons from this point forward. This is a huge point in the game for Vincent. He has chosen to go after the 2 prizes back to back and try to knock out this Pheasantipity along with one more V Pokemon here. He has the Pokemon catcher in hand to do that, but will this hand remain next turn?
Exactly.
A big risk.
You're almost racing a clock here, trying to get to the 2-2-2 prize map before your opponent can get there. Is going to utilize that Pokemon catcher, bring that Pheasantipity EX up. We finally hit a heads on it. That's pretty great. And we're going to start to churn through that prize map for Vincent. But exactly what you said, Kyle, is the disruption going to take in effect, and how disruptive will it actually be? Vincent's going to try to give himself every single out here.
Holding on, was that holding on to Briar? that's thinking pretty deep at this point. I feel like the map is pretty locked in on Pokemon catchers, but we'll see.
Well, Professor Sada's Vitality found now for Vincent. Into the hand, we have this another Raging Bolt EX coming down. I believe that was off the Flip the Script here into the hand.
I mean, this all could work out. All the cards in hand are fantastic. There's so many ways to win the game. It's will these cards remain? And for Vincent, yes, he's going to burn through resources, see additional cards. But his job is to play as many as he can right now, so that later on in the game, he will have access to the game-winning cards.
Yes, you want to have as stable of a board as possible here if you're Vincent, and that's what we're seeing right now. The Professor Sada's Vitality was able to target down those 2 ancient Pokemon, get a bunch more energy out. We've TL danced already on those 2. The Bravery Charm coming down onto the Pheasantipity EX as well out of the hand. So utilizing those cards so that if there is disruption, there's less to draw into that are ineffective if you're Vincent as well. And then we're going to take the knockout here on this Pheasantipity EX. That's 2 more prize cards down for Vincent, 2 away from taking this game. And it's up to Christian Labella to work really on the defensive / offensive here to respond.
Yeah, keeps the energies on the Teal Mask Ogrepon to have access to a Briar closeout if it is the Radiant Charizard in the active spot. You have to expect that Pokemon is probably going to be attacking, but can Christian find an Iono? He had back-to-back-to-back Iono last game to get the job done. Surely he has something for us.
I'm not seeing that in the hand, but I mean, there's a lot of cards in the hand. We have the Teal Dance into another Ogrepon here for Christian. Looks like eyeing up a Super Rod here for the turn as well. Just taking a look at the discard pile for Christian, but what are you seeing in this hand, Kyle, that we can actually work with here?
Not much. I think there's just this Pheasantipity that could be recycled by way of the Super Rod, and then you can bring that back with Ultra Ball, see 3 more resources to then draw for this Iono. How many cards in deck? 7, 8?
Yeah, it's slim. It is slim, but we have some flip the scripts that can happen. The Pheasantipity was gone, and now it's back once again, thanks to that Super Rod that was drawn off the prize cards as well. This is the flip the script. Nest Ball Research. What was the other one? And a Gudra.
That's not it.
Nope.
Now there is a knockout if you want to take the Raging Bolts. You have Prime Catcher in hand. Radiant Charizard could do just that. But you're hoping your opponent doesn't have that Briar, doesn't have a Pokemon Catcher to try to target down a V Pokemon.
And we do.
There's a lot of cards.
We got it on Vincent's side. I mean, the board state has just absolutely been set up for Vincent, and that hand is huge. Christian has to disrupt it here, but we just haven't found that disruption, sadly, for this turn. Even despite the 2 Teal Dance and the Pheasantipity flip the script, just haven't got there. It's a clunky hand. We've already used our V-Star power ability on the Regidrago V-Star. Looks like the Prime Catcher that was brought back from the discard pile.
Hey, I mean, if you go after the Teal Mask, you're playing around the Briar a little easier. This is just the knockout on the Raging Bolt now. 2 prize cards remaining. Teal Mask Ogrepon promoted to the active. is a Pokemon catcher here to just take the cleaner knockout of the two with the fighting energy in hand.
That's all that was needed. It's a heads on the catcher. The Teal Mask Ogerpon being brought up here. Vincent has the energy to take the knockout there. Last 2 prize cards down. Vincent Owen is fighting back here in top 8 and taking that game 2, bringing us to a game 3 here in our top 8 match, Kyle.
I mean, after what we saw from Christian, I was certainly expecting an Iono. There had to be more drama to this game, but was unable to find it. Maybe the counterbalance of game 1 has caught up to him. We're going to reach a beautiful culmination here in game number 3. Both players have not taken a match loss to their opponent's deck just yet.
Yeah.
But someone's going to have to lose.
Someone is going to have to give here. Who's it going to be, though? Let's take a quick recap here. Take a look at this recap between our players in our game 2.
Yeah, this was all gas, no brakes the entire way for Vincent, taking huge knockouts, instantly starting with that Mew, and then a huge decision here to speed up the game. We saw the Radiant Charizard take a knockout. Once the Pheasantipity was knocked out on this turn, it was all on Christian to try to find an Iono, limit the resources. Vincent was holding on to every key piece to close out the game and could honestly just choose one of 6 ways to win from here.
Yeah, that is so true. Yep, we have this. We see the Teal Mask Ogerpon coming up there right at the end here. Vincent had everything needed, as we really predicted here. Vincent lined everything up. The only thing standing in his way was that disruption, and unfortunately didn't happen this time around from Christian. Christian, of course, knows the value of that disruption against Raging Bolts. That's how we got to the win in game 1. Are we going to see a similar story in game 1 or game 2? Because we are kicking off our Masters Top 8 game 3. Let us know in the chat. Who do you think it's going to be? The Raging Bolts or the Regidrago V-Star here that's going to take a win in our Masters Top 8, advance to top 4. Everything's on the line here for our players. And this time around, Christian is going to be going first.
Is he? I mean, he's certainly taking his time to start things off, but this is the benefit of having a hand that's this strong. He's got so many resources here to look forward to. The second Teal Mask Ogerpon, the Regidrago, a Nest Ball, an Ultra Ball, the Earthen Vessel. This could be crazy Squawkabilly setup. This could be Cleffa in the active.
Be a lot.
Relax. It just depends on what Christian thinks is the most viable option.
Yeah, we have a couple more energy and dragon attackers there for Christian. This is a deck that does play 2 Dragapult EX, the Giratina V-Star sitting at the bottom of the prize cards there, but that Mew EX in the middle of the prize cards for Christian.
Yeah, it's been a big debate that we've seen between players of 1 or 2. We've seen players have that benefit of finding that second copy when 1 is in the prize cards, and clearly this is a spot where we could see that again. It's just such a great attacker to have, and you know that the damage can certainly pile up. If you get those 4 prize cards at any point, the game completely shifts.
It absolutely does. Multi-prize card knockout's always a fun time if you're a Pokemon player. Well, we're going to see the Teal dance here on this Teal Mask Ogerpon. Oh, make it 2, Kyle. We're dancing out here. Teal dance once again.
Double dance, Nest Ball as well, and I think this is where we get a little more information. A decision has to be made. Do you go very aggressive? And the answer is, oh yeah.
Aggro all the way. The pretty Squawkabilly coming down onto the field. Ultra Ball being used to bring out this Radiant Charizard that we've seen make it onto the field very early in each of these games, really, for Christian.
Yeah, this is just a pretty strong read of what your opponent's capable of. Taking an opening knockout here. If you could find a Pokemon like Cleffa here even to promote and retreat to, it'd be great. You're okay with losing the 2 prize cards, given that it makes that extend to knockout with Radiant Charizard a little bit easier.
Look at that.
We will see the pass of the turn. Yes,
pass of the turn after that Squawk and Seize, drawing into more cards. There's already 2 grass energy in the hand for Christian Labella to start off the next turn as well. Iono's in the hand too. Vincent Owen, on the other hand, Raging Bolts is our starting Pokemon here, and Earthen Vessel is going to get us into the deck right away. As far as the prize cards go, a lot of cards that have duplicates, I guess, besides, what, that Slitherwing?
I think we're okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're fine with that. And it's
Not-
at the top, so it could stay there.
Yep. The Pokemon catcher we've seen is a pretty important resource.
Yes.
If it ever hits heads, it's pretty solid. And the Sadas at the bottom is nice to see for when you start to draw prize cards. But that will be the question. Does Vincent have a way to start drawing these prize cards? And it starts with this opening deck search, finding those energies and starting to load up for the Raging Bolt. But if you don't have the hand to go along with this, the Sadas, the Teal Mask Ogre Ponds, and this is going to be a pretty slow start.
Well, I saw a Teal Mask Ogre Pawn with a Grass Energy already in the hand, so we're going to have a little bit of extra support here for Vincent, but didn't get a look at the other cards yet.
And probably access to a Fighting Energy when a Lightning is discarded
True.
and a Lightning is found. It's a little peculiar to see.
Yeah, you are correct. Mundo on that one, Kyle. We had the Fighting in the hands. Ultra Ball found off of this Teal Dance.
That was a big piece. I don't think this hand had anything until we see the Ultra Ball, and now that gives you access to the Squawkabilly. And it's not as pretty, but it does just as good a job.
You got to take a couple of discards here, but then you get a fresh hand to work with to really get a board going. You have to take the reins here on this match. You have to match Christian's turn. I mean, look how set up that board is on Christian's side. You have to be equally as set up if you're Vincent. Squawkabilly is one way to get one step closer to that. 6 cards here after the Squawk and Seize. Another fantastic support Pokemon. Couple of Raging Bolt in the hand and a Pokestop.
All right, there's a debate to this. So you could use the Pokestop, thin out some items first, and then use your Pokegear. You do throw away a supporter, but it's not the one you wanted. Can you get rewarded at this point? Use Earthen Vessel, thin down a little more, and then find the Professor Sada's Vitality. You already have Raging Bolt in hand, so that's 2 energies accelerated to 2 great Pokemon.
That's what you want. That is exactly what you want.
What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah, I need to know. Is it going to hit?
I'm not saying anything else this time, Kyle. I'm not doing it again.
This is
what do you think,
such
Kyle?
a crucial turn. If you have the turn 1 knockout, it's the odds completely shift in your favor. 7 cards.
I mean, the deck is... I believe. There was 2. There was 2 in there, Kyle. We hit it this time around. Professor Sada's Vitality. That was the one missing piece. The Raging Bolt already in the hand. We can target down both of those ancient Pokemon and accelerate these energy out onto the field for Vincent Owen. Woo! I'm sure there's a huge sigh of relief there, and I'm glad I didn't curse that one.
Massive here. To also walk right into 210 hit points means that you have an additional energy that remains on the field too. All of these factors are starting to lean toward Vincent's favor. Christian has to come up with something pretty quick here.
Yeah, Earthen Vessel, Energy Retrieval, and a Switch card found off of the Sada as well. 3 additional cards to the hands. We're going to have a 3rd Raging Bolt join the field now for Vincent.
Yeah, you only do that if you think you're going to lose a Raging Bolt right now. And given that we've seen Christian's ability to use this Radiant Charizard, I expect that also.
Well, here we go. It's the start of this prize race. Vincent taking the first 2, drawing into the Professor Sada's Vitality and a Grass Energy, which are such good prize cards to draw into for your upcoming turn. Christian, on the other hand, just getting going here with the single prize card attacker in the Radiant Charizard and the combo to go with it, that Iono, all of those prize cards that were just drawn into. Now at the bottom of the deck here for Vincent as we kick off the Disruption train real early for Christian.
Yeah, when you use the Radiant Charizard without having to expand too many of those resources, we already see now the Regidrago V-Star added to the board. Legacy Star will be accessible throughout the remainder of this game, and that leads to at least 1 more Radiant Charizard, but you have to expect this is going to be the attacker of the game here. First knockout taken. Christian is going to eye up a few more here. It's up to Vincent to have an answer, and he's on a new lower hand size.
Yeah, Ultra Ball, Giratina V-Star that Christian Labella gets to draw into off those prize cards. Vincent on that new hand size, starting with the Nest Ball to get this Iron Bundle out onto the field.
It's so gross to think about for Vincent. Yes, you have a way to move this Radiant Charizard and continue to take 2 prize knockouts, but you are not dealing with the major issue in front of you, but it's also just correct. You cannot compete with the power of Radiant Charizard. You have to race them at this point and hope to not see an Iono.
Yeah, you're moving it out of the way. It almost wants that to reset its combustion blast, but
Back.
you gotta work around it. You have to just consistently take 2 prize cards each turn and hope that you're not disrupted enough. And this time around, the Iono, it didn't stick enough because look at this. Vincent now has the flip the script on the board as well to help out down the line for this match too. Professor Sada's Vitality in the hand now. That's gonna help out even more. Get these energies back onto the field, charging up these Raging Bolts, draw 3 additional cards. I mean, that was an effective turn here for Vincent, and it still has plenty of cards to play.
Yeah, you see the wise play from Christian promoting the Regidrago V. It requires that 1 additional energy discarded on Vincent's side of the board. So losing 4 energies, a little trickier. Does not mean that Vincent gets to hold on to the resources that he wants, but it's his job now to throw energies on the board. Teal Mask Ogrepon doing just that. He's seen so many resources, and now try to make yourself Iono-proof. Has the POW pad to help out a little more.
Protect, protect. 1 step away here from advancing into our top 4 for either of these players. So it's getting scary here. It could really go either way. Pokestop's going to be rolled. Tool cards are not item cards, so that's going into the discard pile there. POW pad's going to be played to get these Sadas back into the deck now for Vincent.
Yep, hopes that a couple of those start to fly to the top on this next turn. So the clock is ticking. Vincent will be looking for a way to move the active Pokemon after a Radiant Charizard knockout. Also, find a way to accelerate some additional energies because there's only, what, 1, maybe 2 remaining on board after this. I think we have an energy attachment for the turn here now.
You gotta stack up those energies to get enough here to close out the game, and Vincent's doing everything here to stabilize the board, taking a quick look through the discard pile to make sure everything's set up for the later turns here. I mean, everything has to be perfect here for Vincent, but sometimes you're kind of just hoping as well that nothing goes wrong, and some of that is out of your power because Christian has the ability to disrupt you and throw some obstacles in your way. We're seeing the discard of these energy now, deciding where it's going to come from now. And it looks like the 2 off of the Raging Bolt EX, 1 off of, or 2 grass off the bench.
Yeah, this opens up for the Teal Mask Ogrepon to have the Briar extension into this Radiant Charizard. You have the Pokemon catcher fighting energy and 1 acceleration. Well, even you don't even need the acceleration for the Squawkabilly knockout. There's plenty of ways to close out here. It is all on Christian at this point to start to find the resources. You know that he will find it. He has Legacy Star. Yeah. He has a way to manipulate this to try to get Vincent on a low hand.
Exactly. Guarantee resources into your hand. Just have to do everything possible, putting up that single prize card attacker and get all of the cards needed to disrupt here from Vincent and hope that you can hang on long enough to take the aggressive stance here for Christian.
We see the Cleffa. That's a Pokemon you could play down if you want to have a swap with a Prime Catcher, target down a Pokemon with an energy on it on this turn. You could throw away so many resources and then use that Legacy Star as well. So in a perfect world, does it involve Prime Catcher, a Lost Vacuum on that Pokestop, and an Iono down to 2 cards and try to hang on? We'll see what he finds.
Yeah, the Pokestop was rolled to discard 2 Pokemon there and an additional card, but Legacy Star is now being played into here, discarding these 7 cards. What do we got here, Kyle?
Finds the Lost Vacuum, but there might be other resources to focus on here. Yes, you can.
That's important.
Thin down, but it truly depends on if you're playing to deny your opponent or try to advance your own win percentage here. And denying your opponent might just be the best answer.
Yeah, Lost Vacuum is going to be the second pull off this Legacy V-Star, as well as that Iono that we've seen hold so much weight in these games for Christian Labella. Can it stick once more for Christian? That's going to be the question here, Kyle. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Rightfully so.
This is narrowing down the game here. Vincent just has 2 prize cards left to take. We see the Lost Vacuum being utilized now. Taking away the Pokestop here off of the board. Nest Ball in the Lost Zone as well.
Yep, plays 1 down just to thin out even further. You could bench the Cleffa so you have that free retreat opportunity. Setting up a secondary attacker. You're doing everything you need to do, Christian, here.
Everything. Energy switch to get that grass on the Regidrago V-Star before the Iono. That's 4 cards here for Christian. Vincent's going to draw into 2. Those 2 cards are going to be huge. I think I saw a Sada.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
We did not see a prime catcher just yet, and that would be a valuable resource to remove the Raging Bolt with the energy
that
from
would be
play.
huge. That would be huge. We've already
It's
used
going to be the knockout on the
Iono.
active. What does Vincent have? 2-2 prize cards here.
Oh, yeah, 2 more prize cards down for Christian. It's on Vincent to either take this game or give another turn over to Christian here. What's Vincent going to be able to do here in this turn? Of course, we have the protection that was established within that Pheasantipity EX, which is huge. 3 cards in the hand at this moment in time. Here's going to be this 3 draw as well. Raging Bolt, Trekking Shoes, Grass Energy. We have the Earthen Vessel and the Sada. That's
a lot.
That's like everything.
Not a
What are we
way to
missing?
move the active Pokemon just yet. Trekking Shoes could maybe find Briar as a sneaky play.
Oh my gosh, yeah. This is
Looking
gonna
at
be
the
tough.
resources here.
Yeah, the Pokestop was eliminated in the last turn, so Vincent doesn't have that to rely on here to get into a catcher.
What's
Trekking
this
Shoes,
card?
yeah, what is the Trekking Shoes card?
The
What
Night
is it?
Stretcher doesn't want it. Finds another
my
shoe.
gosh,
They run in
shoes.
pairs. It's
Oh,
Sada. No.
what is it? It's just
grass
a grass
energy looking
Oh
for
my
some
gosh,
more help.
One more. It was the catcher.
Oh my, we're down to a
What?
flip.
It's the flip of the century. It's a tails this time around
Not
for
over
Vincent
yet.
Owen.
There's still a supporter for the turn. Professor
This
Sada's
is
looking
3
for,
additional draw.
what is it, 1 more catcher in the deck? I think the other
I
one's
think
in the prize
so, yeah,
cards.
it's in the prize cards still. It's
Finds
one more.
this.
We still have another chance here. If this can be a heads here for Vincent, everything's relying on this coin flip. Can we get there? Oh,
He
it's a
finds it,
4.
gets the heads, and takes the knockout on the Squawkabilly, closing out with every energy. Vincent Owen moving into top 4 here in Toronto.
Raging Bolt raging through Toronto as we see Vincent not taking a loss yet here.